And now we're live.
Yes.
We're live.
Yeah.
What's up? Circle, people. Babe.
Nobody's there yet.
Who's watching? We're not there yet.
Well, nobody's watching yet.
What's up? Did anybody get to me already? You need to
I sent a message.
Yeah. Thank you. What's up, Circle people?
Yes.
People, wagwan.
Come on, I
It's
know.
up things tonight, man.
Do we have a viewer?
Oh.
Uh-oh.
Who's with us tonight? If you're watching now, go ahead and say hi. Who's doing comments?
Nobody yet.
Come watch the comments tonight.
It's live right now.
Check. Page Daniel to the page.
Danielle. Taking action, y'all. I'm gonna tag her right now.
So more say beware.
Hey.
Oh, look, it gives us a
Oh, now we got
thing.
people. Yeah.
Numbers are live
People are
now.
coming. Yeah, there's Benny. Yo.
What's up? Hey!
Alright, here we go.
Like it's supposed to.
What up, people?
Welcome.
Thursday, top the teams. You know, we got the whole squad up in here. You know what I mean? We're getting bigger and bigger every week.
Deep tonight.
Getting deep.
Oh, yeah. Almost.
Yes.
We got the 3 men and the 3 women.
Yeah. We got an even team tonight.
If you're gonna be team guys tonight, say what?
What?
Where are you? If you're team girls, say hey.
Ooh,
And if you're team unification and understanding and communication building, drop.
Walk on, Alicia.
What's up?
Yeah.
Alicia, big up yourself.
What's up, Alicia?
Yeah, we're just gonna wait like the next 2 minutes and then just get
Into
right into
it.
the nitty gritty car. Enough things tonight, people.
Mhm.
You know, say I'm Junior Friday.
Friday.
Junior
Yeah,
Friday, Junior.
All right.
We came to talk tonight.
All right.
I got my Obama shirt on already.
Came to top of the tape. I'm not even shy about what's in my cup today. What's
Oh,
up, Vanessa?
I'll get ready.
Hey, Shauna K. Hey, Shauna K. Hey, Vanessa.
What's up?
Yes, Alicia says finally even team.
Yeah.
Yeah. Balance, right? Balance.
Big time.
You know
What's
what
up,
I mean?
Zeke?
See?
Hey, Zeke. How you doing?
Big up, new member. I see you out there.
Yeah.
Big up yourself, Zeke.
Yeah, he's a cool guy. Man.
Mhm.
Yeah, very cool, brother.
Yeah.
Very cool, brother.
You bet.
Very cool, brother.
So,
So what are we getting into today?
moving right into it, guys.
Pure team.
Topics.
I think we're gonna do like what, 15-20 minutes on a segment.
I'll try and judge the time as
Yeah,
best
yeah,
as I
yeah.
can.
All right, so world events. So y'all had to school me because I had my shoulder to the wheel. I know about this Vegas situation. I hear the rhetoric about it being a false flag. I hear the rhetoric about it being different operations that are being set up in play. But there's a lot of politics. You know, people have to jump on it to lobby their cause or whatever. So you guys have to tell me what's going on with this whole news media thing that's going on.
Well, basically, there are a few things. There's a couple of incidents that happened on the Sunday when the shooting in Vegas occurred. There was an incident in Paris. There was another incident in Calgary as well.
Yep.
All right. Now, in regards to the incident in Las Vegas, most of us know what's popping. We just can't really figure out the direct motive as to what it is. You know what I mean?
Right.
A lot of people died that didn't really have to die, but they died. You know what I mean?
That's what makes you.
It's sad. It's really sad because this type of shit shouldn't be happening at the end of the day.
No.
Not at all.
It shouldn't be happening. We live in a place where there are enough resources where everybody should be able to eat equally. You know what I mean? And have. You know what I mean? Not one set of people controlling how certain things run. So it's sad.
Yeah.
Me personally, if you were to ask me if I think if it was that guy that did the shooting, no, he didn't do the shooting. It was somebody else.
Hey,
I don't know. Maybe he did do it.
What's up, Macy?
Pardon me?
Maybe he did do it, but like,
Big up.
there's a bigger thing behind it.
Do you think he had help? Do you think he was paid? Do you think?
Oh,
There's endless possibilities. This is now Pandora's box.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
At first, I actually
What's up,
thought he
Chris?
did it. I actually was like, yes, this man is distraught. I thought maybe he had some because he was an elder man. Because I was driving. This is what I heard on the news. So I'm like, okay, he's 64. So I'm thinking because they weren't really sure about exactly the story. They were just getting little pieces in, and they're trying to connect it at this time.
Yeah.
So when I heard he was a retiree, he was old, he went in and he just shut up the place. So I'm thinking that maybe it had something to do with Trump and the Obamacare, and because they're cutting back a lot of people in the States.
Yeah.
So I thought that
population
maybe,
control.
Right. So
Straight
I'm thinking maybe he, you know, maybe his family was struck with some kind of health issue.
Yes.
Maybe his wife, maybe him, and he couldn't handle it, so he decided to lash out. But then everything started coming out more and more.
Bits and pieces, more information is coming, and then the pictures start to come together.
Right, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what do you guys feel is the political agenda with this?
ISIS said now they did it. Why would ISIS want to do something?
Well, then they
I don't believe that. They
ISIS
drafted that?
ISIS
the
is
media.
government made. ISIS
they
is
are. They're an
ex-United
operation.
States military people that they do to send and kill people. Just like the shooting in California a little while ago, where the disabled people got shot. Like that they said it was ISIS.
Documents that was really saying that government. I mean, United States is the ones who actually fund it and made.
Well, this has been going on from time. Right.
They just taking advantage of the opportunity to claim it. I don't think they had anything to do.
It wasn't. It's like what Taniko was saying, more of a political agenda in the sense of the population control. Yes, and they're you got to be careful, like what links and what articles you guys are seeing pertaining to this, because a lot of it will kind of confuse you and throw you off. I'm in a debate right now with a couple of intelligent brothers right now, and they're educating me. I think I'm a know-it-all, but they're actually teaching me, and I'm looking to them for the knowledge, and I feel like a sponge, and I'm absorbing it. You know what I mean? And basically, like, I thought based off of that situation, there was multiple shooters, but based off of what they were telling me, according to ballistics and so on and so forth, there was one shooter, but not from the 32nd floor, like what they're saying. You know what I mean?
Right.
They're saying from a lower level. So there's so many different.
The fourth floor thing got debunked, I think.
Okay.
See that?
The fourth floor shooting got debunked.
What's up, Moose?
Yes, Moose.
Yes, Orla. Yes.
Orla, yeah.
Orla.
And D's.
So guys, the comments are coming. Keep the comments coming. If we don't get to your comment right now, because we do want to keep the show flowing, you know, we will always come back in and we'll engage again on the replay. So, but do keep your comments coming. I will comment as I get to. So Moose says the CIA created the Jimmy Carter and the Afghan-Russian War.
There we go.
And that ISIS is an offshoot of the Mujahideen.
Right. And Moose is 100% right.
Yeah.
Moose is 125 million% right in the situation.
Yep. Marcia says ISIS is, that's irrelevant. ISIS was created in America. So
right.
Oh,
so,
Anamiki, what's up, Anamiki?
Yes.
Yes. So Doug.
Doug.
What's up, Dougie?
Dougie the Pooh. Dougie the Pooh. Yeah.
So guys, world events, you know, we love when you guys bring these things up, and we love the variety because it's an opportunity, like Jason said, for us to all learn that, you know, we may be seeing things from one vantage point and just need to get a little bit more information.
Definitely.
Yeah. So
sad thing. And the thing is, like, even though this happened, you still got to keep your eyes open because something else could be happening. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm not. This could be a false flag, meaning like just something to set up something for something else. So make sure you guys are paying attention to the news and see what's happening in different parts of the world. Because even on the same Sunday, there was a referendum in Spain, which wasn't really covered as much as what happened in Las Vegas.
Exactly.
Right?
This is it. These are the things that I always say is when I see these things, what's happening on a global scale, like what's up with all the summits? We didn't hear back from what happened at the last G8. You know, you find that a lot of bills get passed and shoved through during these times. You know what I mean? These laws are being built, you know, so it's very important. I'm not a news person in terms of tuning into like having City Pulse all the time on, but I listen to my BBCs, I listen to my other, you know, international news networks and try to put all the puzzle pieces together. So you guys do keep those world events coming. You see things going on in another country, bring it up, guys, because a lot of times, more time people get their news from Facebook. Let's just keep it real.
Yeah, 100%.
So bring your shit in and let's talk up the ting.
I don't even see my timeline anymore. All I see is circle. That's it. Circle. This person, my phone, I'm not working.
Yeah, I try to go in there one or two times. You have to dip back in. Let people know you're alive.
Yeah.
Real thing.
Yeah, I do a double post to make sure.
Yeah, you're like,
I'll
you're
post
still
here and
there.
I'll post here.
Yes, ma'am.
Right, so.
I hear that. So next, okay. So guys, are you ready? Because we are about to go into another gear, okay?
Yeah.
You know what, Talking Things, we always do some weekly, hot topics recaps. So we want to talk about our community and how much growth we've gone through.
Oh yeah,
We've gone through so many We've gone through so many waves. We've gone through waves and opposition, and we've gone through the whole nine. So when the agitators come in, okay, drop yourself a nice little clean one if you want to talk about when the agitators come in. You remember when the washing machine, before they had front-loading washing machine, and there was a top-loading washing machine, and you put your comfort turn on it, left side, and you're not taking top. Yeah, the agitators.
The agitator there.
We love you guys. We do.
No, I don't love you. I don't love you. Leave me alone. Don't bother me.
We love you. We love you. We love you.
I don't
You bring out first thing, the place to come talk about.
Watch it.
We want to talk about when agitators come in, and we have, let's keep it real, okay? We do have a very or I should say hyper reactive and somewhat hypersensitive group of people in here. We want to talk about when the male agitators come in and the women broke out like one rash, okay guys? Because a lot of times these guys might need pulling up with their delivery, but do we go in? I love it. You guys will hear me come in and say one thing when we will outside. So you guys have fun to try and come in and see if we don't gang. I love it. I love it. But y'all, let's talk about this. Lisa, I'm just as you, baby. I am just.
Yes, let's hear what people have to say about that before.
And please, Autumn, I love how you and Autumn balance each other out. I want to hear on the devil's advocate side of this, guys, because we're going to talk about all sides of it, right?
I think we kind of agree on this a little bit.
Let's hear it.
Yeah, we kind of agree on this one. I think this one is our disagreement. I
don't like nobody.
Vanessa said the agitator always
wins. So
yes,
because we know that you're great at that. And
well, I think that
no disclaimer. You want me to warn them?
Everybody sees the gold can.
No, people. Choose. Nice people. Some con. I go spill and splash.
All right. No, really, like it's all love. Like I just feel like when people come in the group, the dynamic shifts based on personalities that are coming in and personalities that are observing these water shifters, these agitators.
Wait, sorry, I have to say Mitzi, shout out, happy belated girl too.
Happy belated
birthday. Yes, Mitzi.
It says the thing is, everyone is entitled to their opinions. However, it takes a very small individual to constantly talk down and belittle others due to appearance, personal choice, and social status. Usually people see, we did press see more. I'm just going to say this because I want you to put this in perspective of this. Usually people who behave in this manner are lacking in various other places within their lives, fighting their own battles with unhappiness and trying to fill a gap. Whatever the case may be, these people are attention seekers, and by responding, you are feeding into the irrelevant bullshit, giving them a false sense of power, something they don't have in their everyday life. Powerful people do not waste time to feel the need to break others in order to build themselves. This is true. I totally agree. When you're powerful, you don't do that, or when you know your power, because we're all powerful. They aren't bringing up debates, but more so looking for arguments. With that being said, all we can do is stop feeding into or responding to negative energy. It's killing the vibe. Missy, thank you.
Yeah,
thank you for the comment.
Thank you for the comment. Always been a voice of reason too. Missy's a real soldier, man.
This is what I wanted to say about it.
Yeah.
I completely agree. But it was brought up earlier in the week also that people are at different places in terms of their growth, their maturity, and their ability to articulate what it is that they think and what they feel.
Exactly.
Because you're not where I am doesn't mean that I'm going to be like, well, you're an asshole or you're an idiot. I don't like your delivery. But at the same time, I could pick sense from nonsense.
Yes.
Because it's not like man's was wrong about points that he was making, isn't it?
Yes.
Man had bare beat and teach moments.
Like,
but it was kind of like the beating with the cutlass. It was the beating with the cutlass.
It wasn't like the woman with the dog.
No. All the dog get beaten. No, sir. Yo,
it wasn't like
Jason is right. The man can have a little bit of respect, man. There's a way to do things when you get in a debate or you're trying to get your point across. There's a way to do it. You got to do that with etiquette and class. You got to do that nicely. You got to show.
He doesn't have to do it nicely.
Not nicely, but I mean
but
nicely.
you just have to do it with consideration for humanity. Like, yo, I'm talking to a next. I'm talking to a woman. I'm talking to a child. I'm talking to a human being.
Well, some people say they want that though.
The thing I read about him is when I haul and pull him up one side in a sub corner. He said, you know what? Yeah, you're right. My delivery could have been better. I said to him, you can give somebody shit on a silver platter, or you can give them shit on a cardboard box. At the end of the day, you still have two piles of shit. One is presented better. You don't have to change who you are, water down what you're saying.
Don't do
You
that.
just don't have to come out guns blazing like you're talking to your fucking enemies. We're a family in here. Right? If you're trying to learn me something, I'm not gonna listen to you when you're low key attacking me or high key shading me.
What the fuck is that? So then that brings us to the part about where when we now as a community, and I do want to put the emphasis because I see this coming more from the women. I did see a few incidences in there with the men and the whole B man and the Bati man thing. But here's what I want to say is, why is it that when women come in and they see a man behaving in a very he's self-emasculating with his behavior. What's up, Junior? Why is it when men come in and they self-emasculate by the way that they present? So they present as a, as an agitator and they're hostile. Why do we then feel the need to, instead of trying to show them reason, why is it that we look at the behavior and say, oh man, he must be gay? Why are we attacking the sexuality of a person based on their immaturity and their cognitive delivery? What does one have to do with the other?
A little louder for the people
What
in
do
the
we
back,
have to,
please.
what do the two have to do with each other? A person's ability to articulate themselves, their vocabulary and their grasp of what they want to say. Why do we then need to say that because this person is
What's up, Macy?
With that, why are they gay? Why are we attacking? So, I mean, how are we supposed to expect our men to be coming in as kings if we are
constantly attacking his sexuality?
How are we going to teach them something? No, they're saying, oh, the man's in his feelings, he's on his myriad, or the man's in his feelings, he's gay,
okay, let me address this. You see, let me take over for 1 second. You see, and this is why I rate man like Junior still, cause we just talk the truth still. Sometimes when we talk and we say certain things, some people don't like what we say, so they have to go around it and try to diss us. You understand? And say, oh,
because you're not enabling people, and you're not bootlicking, and you're not condoning. If you see your sister and that's you say, all right, you're coming and you're saying you're a queen and you're saying you're woke. Okay, but I see you doing some peasant shit, yo, as your keeper. I'm going to tell you, because a black man is the keeper. The man in any family is a keeper of the women in the community. He's supposed to be able to haul you up. But if he's going to haul you up and he's going to cut off your titty them and dig out your pum pum, you're not going to leave feeling very enabled and equipped to go forward and, impart that to the next generation. So don't come and diss the baby mothers them and say that they're doing a shitty job raising their sons when they look to their left and they look to their right, they're not a good example of how you're supposed to lead. For one, okay?
Big up all
that's
the mothers.
that's for the guys who are coming in like that. Right. Big up all the fathers. Fully for that.
Big up all the parents.
But we're talking about this week, it was the women that were coming under fire.
Yeah, big
So then women, my next thing for you, because I don't lash one without lashing the other, when you see a man coming in and he's limping and he's lame and he's maimed and he's bleeding, that's not the time to do the cutlass beating, okay? There was a very viral video this week about a woman who was beating her child in Jamaica, and she was beating her with a cutlass. Everybody was quick to look out and say, why did she beat her with the cutlass? If you saw the video of what that girl was doing,
Yeah.
Okay? She needed an ass whooping, she needed a draping, but it was the tool, not with a cutlass. Not with a cutlass. Okay, that's it. Okay. No, listen, I'm not comparing. I'm just making an example, guys. I'm going somewhere with this. It's an illustration. The principal might have been right because the child needed some sort of corrective action. But what do you think brought it to a place where that daughter was up there pulling out her titty and doing all of that? That mother decided to be a parent that day, okay? Exactly. If she was really doing what she was supposed to be doing, I'm not saying you don't treat your kids, teach them, and they broke out anyways. But the way that she wouldn't have lashed out. If you're working hard with a child who's belligerent and that child does something that's belligerent, you're not going to react to be beating them with a cutlass. Because by then you know your child. There's a communication going. So coming back to the whole thing between man and woman, okay? We cannot just keep lashing out at one another. There has to be some point where you come together and say, listen, let's actually look at what's causing this sores. Okay, between us, because you don't just come out and correct the behavior after 16 years of letting it happen and turning a blind eye to it. If you have to be engaged constantly. So when you see these things, you're cool, you're calm, you're collected, you understand, yo, that man is broken beyond repair. All he fucking needs is some love. Do you guys see the post that I made this week about it's the kids who act out a certain way that need the loving the most?
Exactly.
Okay, so I'm bringing it to this, and I'm gonna back out of this after that because I kind of missed a lot of what went down after. I really feel like as women, we have to do better to help nurture our broken men because these are our sons.
Very true.
These are our sons, okay? Yes. And as men, we have to do better when we're coming to correct our women because do you want a man correcting your daughter that way? And that's all I'm going to say about that.
No,
and y'all can move on.
You're making some very good points.
You know what I mean?
I know Lisa wants to say something too, but yeah.
That's it. I've done my talking for the night.
You're right on the money with that.
You know what? Here's the thing.
Right on the money with that.
Some of these young girls growing up, they need to hear it like that. Yeah. A man needs to tell them like that. Because you know what? This is what's happening in society when these little girls are going out there and picking these men, you know,
these
for father figures. They're looking for fathers. And you know what? My dad was harsh. My dad would come out and be like, no. And that's it. Like he was not a joking man, and that's it. And how I knew how to raise and what men to look for and what's not, because he didn't break it down to me. Yeah, I was his princess, but he didn't break it down to me like, oh honey, you know that. No, he told me straight up, them boys don't want anything from you. Keep your head in the books and you go to school. Right. That's it. Don't be a whore.
But you know it was coming with love.
I was young.
He wasn't body shaming you. He wasn't saying fat, worthless, waste. No. Bitch. You know what I mean? He was. His words were pulling you in a direction he wanted you to go in, as opposed to shoving you back into the same corner he's cussing you for being in. Right. Do you understand? There's a difference.
I get it. I get it.
It has to be harsh, but at the same time uplifting. At the same time, there has to be balance. Just like Big Shaq says, balance. Balance. Man's not hot. Balance. Right? Balance.
I get that, but what I'm trying to say, okay, I get that as well. But these are big women.
Yeah, they're not little anymore.
We're not little kids in this group. We're not young anymore. You don't need to be pat on the back. You know what?
Yeah.
And if you feel something doesn't apply to you, keep it moving.
So I think what I'm hearing is it's needed sometimes. It's needed. I do believe that. Yo, every now and again I drop a good lecture where it's needed.
This is an outlet.
It's an outlet. It's an outlet, and that's fine. So the man was doing what he needed. He needed to get it out of his system.
Okay, well that's enough.
He needed to get it.
That's it.
He's like, you got it out.
That's enough.
No, I liked it. I'm sorry, I liked it. I thought it was refreshing. It made me laugh. I giggled a little. Some of the things he was saying on the side threads towards to the women in the way he was lashing out was not cool. I don't agree with that. But the actual post, I was like, okay, man.
Makes sense. It's just the way he was batting on people.
He's talking about concerns he sees in his community, and I really believe that it's coming from a place of real panic and concern. You know what I mean? I just feel like when we have to learn that when we want to show newcomers that their delivery needs work, we're not doing any better by attacking them on a personal level either. It's counterproductive.
We don't want people to leave the group feeling that they can't speak.
No censor. There's no censor.
Able to voice and
you know what? Yeah, listen, we're human too, you know. So sometimes we
we do it too.
Oh my God!
And you guys pull us up just the same. The difference is we understand that you guys are, you're trying to keep this place feeling safe and intact. You know, whereas someone coming in might not understand the nest that we've built around each other, and they might not understand why we're so protective of that environment and want to run them. You know what I mean? But Lisa's waiting.
Lisa's been waiting patiently.
No, talk to tingz, man.
First, we
Talk
had
to
True
tingz.
Jones.
Thursday, talk to
We
tingz.
missed you after Lisa. Double dose, girl.
Come in, Lisa.
Double
Come
dose.
in.
I heard you say
Thanks,
that
Abby.
people pull us up. I'm not just want to talk about them things.
Boy,
I just want.
wicked man thing.
There are times when I'm speaking to people and I'm speaking as me. You see me?
Right.
Them time there, you can talk to me as any and any kind of way. I'm speaking as me, you're speaking as you, and rotating. But there's times when I'm speaking to people as me, the admin, and people just belligerent. When all I'm doing is pointing out that this is a community.
Wow.
This isn't just your space to traipse up
Not
in.
your news feed.
You see, I came into Tanika's house, I took off my shoes
Yeah.
because it's Tanika's house. So when you come inside a group, it ain't your group. It's a group.
Until it becomes your.
It's
Take off your shoes.
all of our group.
Right.
Yes.
So you can express yourself as you choose, but when you start crossing lines, like jabbing at sexuality,
That's
that
when
shit
the
ain't
gatekeepers
fucking
have to do
cool.
their job. That's when we have to put our
It's not cool.
official hat right now.
Yeah,
You see what I'm saying?
Y'all get some forward to that.
I don't stand for it at all. Not low key, not high key, not no way.
Not subliminal, not covert.
It's for everybody. So if I'm pulling you up on some gay shit, I'm pulling you up, B.
Yeah.
Like me or don't like me.
Yes.
I don't care. Yeah, them weird.
Wow.
Shamari says y'all giving this man a pass for hating on black women, but up in arms when a man
No,
says someone.
no.
Shamari, go back to
Listen,
what
hold
I
on,
talked
hold
about
on.
black men guarding their
Back up.
Go
I'm not
back
the
to what
only admin. I'm talking about my experience, okay? There's 9 other admin and a moderator. I am talking to y'all about my experience with the gentleman, you see me? I'm not talking about things I didn't see when I was in Atlanta with my family. So if things were happening and he didn't get a pull-up, he was getting a pull-up on the back burner, not on the front burner. I don't do DM pull-up, you see me?
You hear that? You hear
I'm
that?
a pull-up.
Hold on.
You hear that? She said she not do DM pull up.
I don't do it unless I'm taking your post down, and ask anybody whose post I've taken down. I've sent you a message. This is what happened. This is why your post is coming down, and I haven't taken it down yet, but it is coming down.
Yeah, we do let people know. We do.
Okay? But if I'm pulling up on some shit that violates the term of service and disrupts the vibe in the group, I'm pulling up straight where everybody can see
Sometimes
it.
people need to see, because one thing that will happen is if we don't do it, then you're going to hear, oh, well, never put that one day last week. How do you know it wasn't being discussed on the back end? You know what I mean? So a lot of times it does need to be done in public. There will be times when it needs to be done in private, depending on the nature. But I think this is an issue that I think needs to be addressed. Shamari, with what you're saying about giving him a pass, I don't know if you were when you tuned in, but I just recently said that, you know, if we're going to talk about black men coming down on the black women and the fractures in our community, we have to come to them as though they were our daughters, and black men coming to them as though they're daughters, and women receiving them as though they're our sons. So, you know, I don't think that's really what anybody's saying. I personally don't feel it.
Wait 1 sec. And furthermore, when this guy was licking out, I was telling this guy that his delivery sucked on the post. Bold face.
Yeah.
What Lisa was saying, we just run up like straight face. Yeah. On his post, I was telling
But there was two wrongs don't make a right.
Right?
So going in at
so
now
you can't say that
gender or sexuality.
Right, but it's
I mean, he was going in on women's size and body composition.
Yeah, he should have.
You know, he shouldn't have done that either.
That's not cool.
But this is why.
Look, basically he says sensible things in a harsh way.
Basically, is what I said to him.
Initially, but you see what happens when
There's
people
a little bit
attack
of
him.
vitriol. There's a little bit of vitriol.
Super in.
A little bit.
And that's
No,
but that was in the comments in the side threads.
Yeah.
Went
It's
in.
almost
Yeah,
like
you went in.
it's almost
That's
like
what- yeah,
it's
no
almost
need
like
to disrespect people like that.
It's
Don't
like,
think
no,
we're
really,
not
he's not
doing
that
our
bad.
stuff. We handle our shit, man. Definitely, GG.
Yeah. No, it's almost like an attention bulimia. So, you know, you gorge, you know, wherever he's getting this you know, the idea, and he has the concept, and it's in him, and he wants to present it and share it with people and hear what they have to say, and that's fine. That part is fine. But then now you're going to induce vomiting.
Right.
Okay, so that you're gonna go and trigger these women, and you're gonna touch their sensitive spots. You're intelligent. You already know that these are sensitive spots in the community, else you wouldn't be talking about it, because you your damn self know that it needs to be healed. So you're gonna go and you're gonna juke out the woman them womb, okay, i.e. you're inducing vomiting, and then when they respond naturally, that's when the vitriol comes out. Now you've taken away from the original point you were trying to bring, and now you're just vomiting on people, guys. Like, that's not even cute. Now we can't hear anything you said before. You just null and void anything you had to say that made sense. So it's, you know,
the wise man became a fool.
Basically,
you know,
that's the nicest way to put it.
That's a nice.
And it's rewarding bad behavior. Like, basically, that's what it is. It's giving bad behavior attention. Like, we give prizes away at the end of the month for the most engaged person. Yeah. You guys want to low-key give this guy an LCBO card?
No, please.
Right?
Yeah, that would always imagine.
He might be on for like 5 days.
Is that what's going on?
Yeah,
we're just handing him over the gift.
Yeah.
Almost every post is like near 1,000. What's going on? What?
And he's got 6.
Cassandra, you're gonna lose your title.
That's Shanika. Shanika in the house.
Oh, Shanika's there. What's up, Shanika?
Big up.
We're big up Elizabeth in the house.
Yeah.
Lloyd, big up.
Next bag juice defender. Move.
The easy fresh, yeah.
So where are we on our segments? Lisa, I kind of jumped in because you and I share a brain, and you know it does that.
No, that's cool though.
But you were
on
onto that, and you were talking about.
Wagwan, Cindy.
Yeah.
What's up, Cindy?
No, I had something that came to mind and I forget.
So we talked about presenting as a peasant, but demanding to be regarded as a king.
Oy. Next piece.
I think we're pretty much kind of overlap that.
Yeah.
Okay, so you can't be presenting as a peasant and demanding kingly regard.
Yeah,
it's not gonna happen. Yeah, expect
it.
2 cocoa don't fall 1 basket.
2 what?
Yeah.
Okay, so the friend zone. The friend zone.
Say that one more time. 2 cocoa what?
Fill 1 basket.
Hey, a 1-1. Oh my God, this guy. A 1-1 cocoa basket. All my Jamaicans in the house. What's up? So the friend zone. We had a.
Dale, this is all you.
Dale.
Somebody pick Dale.
I just don't want to wait.
Who said if any loon people caught
fun? Hold on. Wait. That's sensible.
Time out, Moose. Time out, Virgin. We have to talk about that little more.
Yeah. You
understand? Little more.
Yeah, Dale. Go back to Dale.
Only one thing I have to say about this whole friend zone business. If you take her out to dinner and you're not getting no pum pum,
I'll use that
friend zone.
No.
You don't think so, man?
Right away.
Yo, Virgin, let me tell you something. If you spend your good hardcore money, what you slave for, 8 hours a day, Virgin, and you're gone go. Hold on there, wait a minute. Are you done?
I can take myself for better dinner.
You see, if me never did have no woman.
Over here.
You see, if me never did have no woman, I may carry a girl out to go eat.
But that's your woman, though.
Pum pum.
But when it's your woman, and you already established that, and you go dinner, go buy one nice fried fish.
I didn't need to
No,
get
that's
it. No, because you were waiting for it.
But that's your woman.
But she was worth the wait, though. She was worth the wait.
Well, you just said, you just said you need pum pum.
Right? The girl might be talking about those who are courting or those who are dating. Because it's a different story. If you're courting and you know that you're going to get that and that's going to be your team, you're going to wife it up. And then you
have to wait and be patient. That's a different thing.
Yeah.
You have to know.
Yes.
You have to know the cues. If we just meet a girl and we say, yo, come, let's go out and go eat a food and things like that, and room ram and we pay for the dinner or whatever, we split the bill. And we come bring her in my yard and turn on the Netflix and my hand go up our pants and we start roll up the pum pum. Yo, you fuck me up, man. But if a man carry out a girl and the girl not give no pum pum, I
want to lick up dinner means pum pum. Yes, Shanika, exactly.
No,
where's the straight face smiling with the unibrow
No,
guy.
the guys in the friend zone know they're in the friend
You
zone.
know,
They
you
know.
know you're
They
there.
know.
You know you're there.
You know
But
you're
they
there.
try
You
too
know,
hard
you
to find
know,
out.
you go for the hug and then you want to move
Some wide gap hug.
I think they
Some
stand
wide gap
now.
They called my brother.
My brother, my little brother,
My little brother.
I think they stand now.
Okay, so the
I think
question,
they can break out.
the question was, this guy is everything that you said you want, okay? He may not come across and be like your type in shining armor, right? But there's a guy he's hitting all of the, he wants a charge.
Wait, Jason,
Oh,
Jason, take my phone off of that thing there.
Yeah.
What are you talking
You
about?
guys got an iPhone.
We're talking about the guys who are
iPhone.
perfect on paper. Huh? We're talking about the guys who are perfect on paper, guys. And they meet all of your goals, but then end up in the friend zone. And why do we end up going for the guy who can't give us those things? Women, where are you? Let's hear it from the ladies.
Tristan said I have no equal pum pum.
Yeah,
no, it's not.
Listen,
It used to be Kentucky.
Junior know what one already.
Kentucky.
You have 1 bill's pussy, you have 2 bills pussy, you have 5 bills pussy, and you have $1,000 pussy. But at the end of the year, the pussy them on a lease. You understand? You have to finance the pussy. You have to finance the pussy and put the pussy in a house. You understand? And put that on a payment plan. What do you think bills is?
Right?
Pussy pension. When you, CPP, when you look on your paycheck, Virgin, allow me to tell you, CPP. Canadian Pum Pum Pension, Virgin. You
Tell
understand?
them you don't punish.
All this, man. And make anybody sleep online. I'll tell the truth.
Okay.
Let me tell you.
Okay, guys, let's get back on track. What do they want? What do you guys want?
Cindy, big up
When you're-
yourself.
How you can come out of the friend zone, because honey,
I
once
think
you're
so.
in there, it's kind of hard. We watch all the teen movies, and you know the friend doesn't get the girls.
So does he just have to become out the friend zone with his next
Kimberly, big up.
conquest? Like, does he have to then say, okay, you know what? This girl didn't see my value. She couldn't see what I brought to the table, and maybe I have to evaluate and say, maybe I presented too timid. Okay, am I going to take something away from this now? And the next girl that I really see and I know that she's the one, I'm just going to go and go, you're not going to let me. You know what I mean? Like, I made a little joke today, like I tried to friend zone some person and he just straight up didn't let me. You know what I mean? Like, because, you know, if a man knows what he wants, he's going to say, hey, I'm going to show you why I'm worth your time.
Okay,
Do you know what I mean? So does this mean that a man is going to then start having to, you know, kind of assert himself a certain way? Or is it just that women in general are confused as fuck? We say we want a good guy.
Elizabeth,
but we
where
don't
you
want a good
been,
guy.
baby? Let's hear from you. Can people
Some
climb
women are
out of the
confused.
friend zone?
Some women are confused and they don't know. They don't know if they want the CPP, the Canadian Pum Pum Pension, or if them just want to
Tasha,
just
you?
have them pum pum there and just sit down. At the end of the day, the smart girls are on the CPP, the Canadian Pum Pum Pension,
But they
or they have their
though.
pension plan or investment plan in place.
See, but
They are the
that's
smart
not
girls.
what they're asking. What they're asking is if you're friend zoned. How do you know that you're friend zoned?
Oh, that's just simple maths.
No, but
How does the song go? 2 + 2 is 4.
How many
Minus 1
times?
dash 3.
Get out of
Maths.
here. Get
How
out.
many
If you haven't got
times?
your friends on, you know, man. You know.
Yeah.
When you talk to them, you just get that vibe because you say something
When they
nice
start
and
talking
sweet.
about
You're
other
bringing your game in,
guys.
and then boom, you just get no vibe. You know, that's how you
Wall
know.
just comes
The
down.
wall just comes
You're
down.
so funny.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
want to hear if women want
Wait.
women. Be honest. Can men
Yeah.
come out of the friend zone?
Yes, we can.
Listen, man. Talk truth.
Let's hear it.
Can men come out of the friend
A
zone?
real man.
Y'all comment, because I have a theory.
No.
I have a theory.
No.
Shamari
Oh,
says
sorry.
the friend zone doesn't exist and only a man can put himself in that.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I said. You know.
Okay,
if you're in the
Shamari,
friend
you
zone.
need to elaborate. You need
They
you to
sit
elaborate.
there,
Listen.
Tell us
they
more.
sit there and wait, and they're like, one day.
What do the women
One
have
day
to say?
it's gonna happen. They hold on to that one day, and then they hold on and say one day, and it never happened.
No,
Yeah,
but
but
like
then-
I said,
What do the
Still
women
friend
have to
zone.
say?
Yeah,
Listen,
You're still a friend.
But listen,
there is
I don't
a
look at the
theory.
they can't.
What's the theory?
You go ahead. You go ahead. I
Well,
will
you
share
can-
my
no, no,
theory.
no,
That's
no,
true.
no, no, next
That's
section.
not
That's
good.
good.
That's not good.
So,
That's
The theory is that women know who they're going to give the pum pum to
Right away.
within the first 2 minutes.
Right away.
Yeah,
Okay, fine.
I believe that.
Yeah,
For 5
I believe that.
seconds, you can look at somebody and decide if he's a candidate.
I believe this. I believe
Real.
women
But he's
have
got
that.
120 seconds.
No, you're
The
right.
panties are either coming down or they're not.
Yeah, it's true.
Whether it's today or tomorrow or in 2 weeks,
but you'd already
know you're gonna get it. If you're on the maybe table, that's when I decide if you're getting a second date. Is it? But from your look at somebody, we know. We know. So if you're in the friend zone, I've already given you. I don't care how long and clean your tongue is. I don't care what your dick can do. I don't care how big and thick it is. If I've already put you there,
you can't come out, man.
And for God's sake, a dick pic.
Yeah, the dick pic.
It doesn't
change all the time.
I don't get it.
Like it's like you're trying to throw like one piece of
Yeah,
lifeline.
you just kind of look a little pathetic.
Does that shit work? Does it work? Yo, there must be a one girl out there. Yo, if you're a girl out there right now that accepts that shit and be like, yes, send me that. Put up two, yeah. There must be one. There must be one.
Drop a two if a dick
Dear
pic
mama
ever
send
told
dick
you that
He's
he
making
got
it back for the rest of us.
Yo.
Put a two right now.
Somebody
I
loves
love
some
when
shit.
Jason gets up, man.
Somebody like it ain't me. I'll tell you the truth.
No.
You know what? I don't
I
want
might
to
just send your picture to my best
No,
friend.
you know what? It's just a little
Especially
weird.
I might just send it to my best friend. We're gonna chop up over your dick.
Random people.
Yeah.
Random people.
It's a clear double standard.
I don't want to see the roast
Do you
speech in
chop
my
up with your
inbox.
friend?
No.
Oh, I send the pictures to my friends.
Yeah.
Just my one friend. I send it to my best friend. I'm not gonna lie.
You see this?
If you don't want me to feature your penis,
My
don't
guy
send
friend,
it.
yes, my guy
Watch
friend,
out.
if you're in the friend zone
Watch her now.
and I am interested in another guy,
Wicked.
you will get the picture to see
Yes.
if it's good enough to
Wicked.
send to the
And
next
if your
guy.
buddy
You know
is
what? Guys will
actually
sit there and be like, oh my god,
Yo,
Hey.
rude boy. Rude boy. Rude boy. Let me tell you something, rude boy.
I did that.
When I
Scared
stop.
ringing. Is somebody watching who's scared I'm gonna call up the
Yo.
Ashy buddy because it was somebody from the circle who
Yo,
sent me
rude.
an Ashy buddy.
Rude boy. Mr. Stop send the woman picture of her body. You not stop it. Stop it, man. You not violate the
Sometimes, the girl, they egg them on.
No, man. Virgin, you can stop following
No, we're
that.
talking about unsolicited. We're talking about like you're on some I have a
You
man.
know,
and
gosh,
it's like
they
the
go in the
black
DM,
picture
they go in the
template.
DM and talk, and then
We're
the guy's
talking
like,
about.
so let me see it then. And then
No,
No.
that's what he's saying. When you come over to my house, you will pull it out and push it in your mouth. Same way if you do
I'm
it on
talking
Sunday.
about.
Let me just try to say, Virgin. You
No,
understand? You can't send the girl them the picture then, man.
thank you.
Because what's gonna happen is your cocky is gonna reach all over the internet.
yes.
That's not nice.
Yeah,
man.
nice.
Stop doing that.
Please, I'm begging you. I've seen
And
enough.
what's the
I've
joke?
seen enough.
What's the
man.
joke? They didn't go and take it off your page. You sent it.
Like,
So,
I'm just,
you know what I'm
I'm
saying?
minding
It's
my
being
business.
dirty.
I'm minding my business. I get a message. Hey, how are you? So I respond. I'm good. How are you? I'm friendly. You know me. I'm that little girl who probably would have got kidnapped for a candy apple. You see what I'm saying? So I'm like, hey, all right, I'm good. You know? And then they say, so what you up to? I'll be like, I'm chilling. I'm at work. You know, chilling. And then next thing you know, bump.
Yeah.
Just so.
Dick.
Yeah.
Virgin,
Yeah.
what y'all do?
Shut up, talking
Virgin, what
about.
y'all do?
Why?
What y'all do? Why?
Is that?
Why? Why?
Don't do that.
Why?
Oh,
Why?
Don't do that.
Don't do it, man.
just don't.
Don't do it, man.
If you feel you're going to,
Just stop yourself.
count to 10, and then just
Put the phone down.
Just put the phone
Walk
down.
away.
walk away.
And
Yo, go
Yo,
put
yo,
your
we're not
hands
split.
in jacks.
You are exactly. Do some cardio or something.
Wait a bit.
No.
Stop. Put
Sometimes they're
the
drunk, too.
cocky in other
Maybe,
girl them
You
DM.
know when you're drunk, you don't think rationally.
Well, if you're drunk,
Virgin,
have
you,
your
you
friend
can't use
take
that as an
like,
excuse, man.
send out the-
You have to be conscious of what you're doing, and this is the problem.
They have no-
Why some man can't get no flipping girls.
Okay, so,
Because they
so
just want
are they
both.
getting friend zone because they display like slight tendencies of this kind of fuck boy?
All these,
Weirdos.
of course
What is
they
it?
do
What
that,
is
and they mess up. They're
They're
messing up the game for the genuine dudes that are actually looking for a genuine
So back
girl.
to the
You
original
understand?
question. Guy comes in, he's got all the criteria. Girl says, something must be wrong with you, and they just go and fling him in the friend
I don't
zone.
get that.
Because he looks too perfect. What is it?
That could be an insecurity that girl has though.
I know, that's the post. That was the
Right.
post that got everyone talking. This guy meets all your criteria, and you want a friend zone him.
Let's be honest. I'm
That's
gonna go
true.
back to the agitators post.
Okay.
She's
Yes,
gonna
bring it
show some
back.
porn again, guys.
Women see a
Look,
guy with lots of good credentials.
Wait.
and
Look,
potential,
fine.
and
Look,
they say,
yo, Elizabeth is asking how many dick pics we've gotten, Jason.
Yo, my
Elizabeth.
DM this week.
Elizabeth, behave
No,
yourself.
this week. I
Behave
don't know
yourself,
what's
man.
going on. Okay, I thought cuffing season
Oh,
was
me
real,
too
but
upset.
this year, me know the
Relax.
cuffing season is real.
That's my
I
friend.
think it's the full moon kind of thing.
Here's the
But
thing.
I've had several
Here's the
indecent
thing.
offers.
The circle might open up a new name that dick group.
No,
Yo.
Don't kill me.
No, don't even do that.
There's
Don't
enough
do
of
that.
them. I get enough of them to have a go fish.
That I'm just like, you know what? My response is, I'm gonna find your mom. and
Etienne
send it
says
to
no
you.
one can come.
Yo, big up all of the
These are
man them
not-
inside of the circle who know.
Yeah.
See a fact. No girl can call them name in a cocky picture. Real thing. Me can't vouch for that. You understand?
Let me
Jason
pay
can vouch
attention
for
to.
that.
Let me log on and pay
Tom
attention
Christian
to
Blood
who's
Clot
sending
vouch
up
for that.
likes for this
You
comment.
understand?
Don't
Yo,
lie.
Hold on, I have to think
Don't
first.
lie.
I have to think first.
God, you
Don't
have to think about that.
Hey,
You know
hey.
myself at the end of the day.
I'm not trying to
Me
say
the man
certain
not send
people
out
that.
my cocky picture to know girl.
No, I'm not trying to say that all the cocky pictures that are coming to me are circle men. That's not what I'm trying. I'm not trying to. I'm not trying to put men in circle in a class, isn't it?
No.
There's been some circle men and some men from other places.
We're
I'm
just
just saying, like, what is going
Oh
on this
yeah,
month?
no, I get like
what kind of
people
moon is
from
it?
Afghanistan.
Here, Asha says she has the receipts. Asha, don't inform.
Whoa.
No,
Just don't inform. No informing.
Leave the past is the past. The past is the past.
No informing thing. No informing thing, please. No informing. No informing.
Somebody, do you have anything to say about the friend zone and these guys that are hitting all the criteria, but then
But then they
choose them
put in
God's
timeouts.
big up
Friend zone,
yourself.
aka
You're right.
timeouts. Yo, Lisa, I have a story to talk about that real quick. One time, one girl tried to put me in
We're not
friend
ready.
zone.
He's basically saying,
I say, yo, what you feel like? You think say my name Vince Carter and you try to put me on bench and a basketball we have played all time out? I mean just dismiss her like that, yo, about. You come to me with that still about friends
so
zone
you
business.
basically
Hater for
you use the power of veto on her.
Yeah, just reverse it on her.
Okay,
Reverse it on her.
So what makes a man not go in the friend zone?
Good question.
The post that the certain gentleman friend in the circle wrote kind of made sense. And there was a lot of comments on there saying, yes, a lot of women are the girl who likes to fix the boy. True. So
Yeah.
if you come with your
They want
shit
the bad
straight,
boy.
Elizabeth
sometimes
said
they
that.
don't want that.
Men are women's projects.
Me personally, I used to be the girl who wants to fix the boy.
Yeah, but when you reach a certain age, you're just like,
Oh, when you reach a certain age, you're just like,
You need to
yeah,
get your shit
I'm good.
together.
I'm just too tired for this shit. But there's still some out there who wants to do that, who wants that role. So I'm not telling the good guys go out and pretend you like have issues and shit. You know?
Don't start.
But what can we do?
I feel like it comes back to what we were talking about in terms of women. When we see broken men coming into our experience, what can we do to look at them and say, you know what, you guys are actually, if I have sons, this is what I need to do to you to help heal my sons. I have to heal, my brother before I can heal my sons. I have to heal my king man, and then with the men coming in and seeing the women, gashed up, wounded, gutted, like shove her entrails back in and bind up our belly and nurture her and bring her in and say, this is what I can do for you. I may not be as equipped as I ought to be, but it's 400 fucking years of PTSD and mental slaughter that we're all going through. How can we heal each other?
That's what it is.
I feel like that's what it comes down to.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And I think what you're saying is, it's, you see these guys coming in and we want to heal them. And I think it's because we're looking at them as mothers. We're like, that could have been my son. So we want to heal them. So maybe is that why we're attracted to, it's like a moth to the light.
Yeah.
You know, is this why we're attracted to those men that need a little bit of, you know, I'll be your spine today.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
That ride or die for you.
Right. But then are we displacing that desire and picking up men who are not willing and capable and trying to work as well? And then we get angry, and then we get resentful, and then the cycle continues. And then you have guys like Jamal looking at it from the outside, coming in and saying, yo, I'm fucking tired of the anger. Like, I'm coming in and trying to show you something that needs to be looked at.
Mm-hmm.
And he's being met with vitriol because he's presenting with vitriol. And everybody's just bleeding all over each other.
You know, my thing is,
that's what I feel like it is.
Go, Jay. Yeah. My thing is this. So to be in the friend zone or whatever. And I've learned that, you know, you can't be one way, because your way may not work. You got to be adaptable.
Big talk.
You know what I mean? You can't be soft. You can't be hard. You can't be a pretty boy. You can't be a thug. But you just got to be adaptable. When she's talking to you, you just got to understand where she's coming from and adapt to the situation.
Listen.
You know what I'm saying?
I'll move on by take notes.
And there will be no friend zone once you adapt and just learn how this world works and how people works and how the person is talking. Like, you know, understand the words that they're saying, not just the person behind the word, but just understand the words. You know what I'm saying? And just adapt, and you'll be just fine. Adapt.
Also, women have to start treating, like, they have to stop. Like Dale, he's basically saying, I was different through the comments. Dale was saying that some women, even though they're nurturers, tend to treat men like they're children. You know what I mean? No man wants to be treated like that.
It
is a fine line. It's a fine line.
Some of them need their mama, yes.
It's a two-way street.
That's why you kind of have to have a match. This is why I say I think we're coming back to reconfiguring the alpha, because I'm an alpha, I'm with an alpha. And a lot of times, like, you know, because I'm looking at how I want my children, you know, to take leadership and what examples I want, I have my foot in my alpha's back even more. And I have to be careful oftentimes to say, okay, babe, you know what? I'm helping you develop me and you're helping me. And we've already established where we're each other's blind spots, okay? You know that I'm in your blind spot with this, and when you see me do this, you pull me up, and I'm not going to take it as nothing, because we know that we have each other's back in that regard. I feel like communication is key, because if you don't have that, the day when my tongue gets away from me and I say it the way I shouldn't have said it, if my man doesn't know that I inherently am at the root of his development, then he has nothing to fall back on to say, you know what, she's just had a long day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think the same thing goes for our community. It's not just when you're in a relationship. You're not going to cultivate that relationship to where you guys can have that until you get to the point where, when you're not in a relationship, you're not in a courtship, you can go to your brother and say, yo, but you're my brother and I'm your keeper. You know what I mean? And when I say it this way, I'm coming from the same place as where you're coming from when you say it that way. And that's where forgiveness comes from. You know what I mean? In my opinion, that's where forgiveness comes from.
You're speaking as the maturity.
Right. Yeah.
The me that was like
this
10 years ago.
Oh, no,
10 years ago.
My tongue was like a lake of fire.
This guy's a beta male.
I was always this way.
I would stand with this beta. This guy with me.
Right. I would know which buttons to
ready
press.
to walk away. I'm done. But this guy's a punk.
Jason right now.
He's too nice. I need a thug.
Yeah.
The people are really adapting to.
Yes. So yes, when it comes to that, that's why when Jason said, that's why I was like, before this Jason, and jumped in. Adaptability doesn't always work. I'm sorry. Like, as a woman, because
women are different as a man.
Because a lot of the guys that I friend zoned are the ones who would sit on the phone with me and talk with me and understand, and I can bitch to them about the man who I was with. Or the man who I liked and what he's doing to me at the time, and he's the one who, my friend over here has my back, he hears everything, has my ear, tells me, you don't deserve that.
But women need that.
And then all of a sudden, I'm back up with the same asshole who just did everything, I just complained about, to the guy, to the good guy. This was the previous.
So make a choice. Make a choice.
My choice.
Have to make a choice.
That's what it was. My choice was I wanted the asshole. I wanted the thug.
So choose him and then be happy.
Like a hero.
And I was. And I made myself happy, right? That's what I did. I thought, I tried to make myself happy. I wasn't. But yet I had my friend zone. I had my friend zone guy. You know what I mean? And he was the one who was there. He was the one who he was the one who did everything with me, grocery shop, everything, you know, and I'd like, come help me pick out a present for so-and-so, you know, so that doesn't always work neither.
You gotta make a choice, man. The way I live life is you create your own reality, you know what I'm saying?
Which is true.
You gotta choose what you want. If you want to be in the friend zone, be in the friend zone. If you want to get together, get together. You know what I'm saying? I have female friends that are just friends because we choose to be like that. We're just mature. You know what I'm saying? We don't hide the fact that it's a man and a woman.
Okay.
Yeah. Huh?
So truthfully.
Okay.
Okay, you're married, everything truthfully.
All right.
Yes, you have like an actual married person.
Were you the good boy? Were you the good boy? Or were you the one, the thug, the bad boy? Truthfully, I want to know, because you're married right now. You have your wife. I want to know, did she go through?
Yeah, she's been through hills and valleys.
Okay, so you're talking from the bad boy situation. You're not talking about a guy.
Free Boudreaux. Boudreaux got free 2018. Yeah,
see, those hills and valleys with you. She probably has a guy on the side who's a friend zone that she talked to him about you and who helped her get through shit. She probably helped you get out the aisle. But what I'm trying to say right now, though, you're talking from a situation of where you weren't friend zoned with your wife.
No.
Your wife was working hard to get you. Yeah. So what I'm trying to say,
true.
Now I'm talking for the men who are the good guys, who are actually the friend zone. Do they get out? No, you can't.
I don't think you'll get out of it with that woman. I think you just take what you're supposed to learn from it, and you just become more. You become. It's funny because y'all took me away from my part 2 of my life. The confidence thing is that you can gain confidence when you make a decision that you're going to take something from this situation. And when you say, okay, you know what, this woman, you know, maybe either she wasn't for me or maybe I set myself up for failure initially with my approach. Whatever it is, it's not going to happen. I'm going to take something from this and I'm going to say, what can I do differently? And just like women have to kiss a lot of frogs, you know what I mean, before we find a prince, you may have to get it wrong a few times before you know, you know, a failure is just learning another way not to do it. Right, which is just one step closer to your success. And you know, none of us have a person here that we can say we love and value unless we actually give thanks for the experiences they had before us.
Yeah.
Like straight up.
Yeah.
It's like straight up, we wouldn't have the partner we have if they didn't go through all that they went through.
Exactly.
And if you're sitting down in a shitty relationship and you're just staying in it just because you're in it, you really are keeping yourself from someone who's been preparing themselves.
You gotta work, man. It takes work.
Like you gotta be able to get out and
dedicated,
more.
Dedicated and a lot of devotion towards where you guys are trying to reach mentally and emotionally as one, as a union together. You know,
for sure. Yeah, for sure.
Definitely.
So I think it's all about community healing and healing the nation, and that's going to have to come with healing of self.
Of self-healing, that's really important.
Very, very important. Self-healing is important.
You're not fixing nobody until you fix yourself.
You have to.
And even while you're doing that, it's messy. You know, wounds are messy when they're healing, but that's when you have to, from day one, once you know that this is a thing, you let your partner know, look, this is what I'm healing, this is what I'm proactively working on, and you know from your partner what he's proactively, he or she is proactively working on. That way, when that person has a bad day, you can see with them. And I don't know why, it just keeps coming back to the whole Jamal Smith thing. Because it's like, yo, I'm sorry, but
you get him out pure shine, man.
No, he was you know what, and that's okay.
Jason is best.
But we're also giving shine to some real issues.
Right.
Like I feel like we're at a different curve.
Wait, Lisa, wait.
I feel like
Michael Nesbitt said something. Hold your thought real quick. The fireman said something still. The fireman said men get friend zone because they are time hoes. Stop giving out your time in exchange for her friendship. Fire. Yes, fireman.
I rate that comment.
Yes, fireman.
You know why I rate that?
That's why I read it.
You know why I rate that? Because in personal development, when you're on your growth shit and people just want to come suck all the time. And it gets to the point where like I want to help you, but I can't help you unless you are bringing something.
Fireman is right.
And bringing something to the table doesn't have to mean you're giving me anything. When you're whole, you don't need it. But you want to see how much they're willing to invest in themselves.
Exactly.
Because you're not going to go and invest. You don't even believe in you. Why should I fucking believe in you?
Sometimes it's just
Straight
energy.
up.
There's too much
Straight
energy
up.
given in, and
So you got these guys, women are guys coming in, they know their worth, and then this woman is here stringing him along, and it's like he's wasting his own
time trying to impress somebody.
So tell him.
Really,
you know what I mean?
So tell him that he's
but then what she's reading,
no, she's reading. Tell them your way. It's not going to.
She's trying to tell them in subtle ways. Maybe she has to say, "Yo, Brethren, it's not worth." But then she's reading his weakness, because remember, he's not coming out and saying, "Yo, like, you know what? I know what I have. I know what I'm bringing to the table." He's waiting, and so by waiting, what he's done now is he's put himself in a position where she can smell the beta.
Right.
Yeah.
And she's
Well,
like,
she
"You
smells
don't know
simp.
your worth, because
Simp.
why are you allowing me to do this to you?" And that's why
true,
she'll never fuck with you.
Exactly.
For real. And then the guy who's an asshole, who's really like a fucking
Dickhead.
wolf coming in just yamming down the sheep barn. You know what I mean? You know, the reason why he'll get her is because he cock up his leg and he peed on her. Pretty much. Like, bottom line. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, he came in and he made it known.
Yeah.
So I mean, but and as misguided as he might be, he knows what he wants, and he's aware of that, and maybe they can smell that. Who knows what it is? So this isn't to diss on the guys, but it's to say maybe we can get some takeaways as well, because as much as there is defunct with women who are like saying, "Yo, like, I want to fix a man," there's also something to be said about a man who presents himself in a way that allows a woman to tell him he's a fix a man when he knows he might not be.
Like a Mitch.
You know what I'm saying? If you know you're not a fix a man, don't make nobody tell you you're a fix a man.
Exactly. I want this.
Like, straight up.
Like a Mitch.
Some man can have some backbone still, you know. That's why they get put in our friend zone, because they don't have no backbone.
So this is a diss, but it's more like, yo, like this, we can all learn from this.
This is, yes.
We can all learn.
This is a
But then
learning
we
curve.
start handling them away.
Yeah, so we want Lisa's been holding.
Yeah.
No,
Lisa,
no, we did it. Just a cool.
Yo, them are balling for you to come from.
Yeah, you're the one that balling.
We're getting it all.
But that's a cool today.
No,
Wow, everybody.
so, no, but you brought up some really good points about how women handle the Monday.
What?
And crippling them further from what we, you know what I'm saying?
Why? Yeah.
So what do we have to say?
Marcia has a good comment here too.
Let's
I wanna
hear
try and read
Marcia.
it.
Go ahead.
People are just too selfish too. They love key attention they get from the person they friend zone, which is true.
Yeah.
This is very true. Some girls just like it.
They like the attention.
I don't rate girls like that.
That's me.
You know what I mean? And those girls,
Parasite.
those girls always end up with the worst type of dude. Because karma is a serious thing, and it's real at the end of the day. That thing will lick you in your backside when you least expect.
But what about the selfish man too? Then he ends up with some, crazy ass thing too.
That too. It's what Tanika was saying. It's a two-way street. You know what I mean? It has to be a two-way street. It can't just be one side.
So how can we fix all this, man?
The only way to fix it is to communicate, like Tanika said, and be vocal about what it is. If you're in that situation,
say what you need.
Yeah, man.
Don't say what the problem is. We already know what the problem is.
We're grown people, man.
My
If you like a girl, tell her.
women,
Hey, I like you. I like you.
Yes.
Tell her.
Yes.
Don't be scared, man. It
This is
doesn't
what I
hurt.
mean.
Trust me. Words don't hurt.
Kimberly's like, sometimes I'm just not looking for a relationship. Why I gotta be friend zone? Why can't we just be friends? Because at the end, that's totally different.
That's different. You made it clear.
You made it clear, right? So that's totally different.
But
It's friend zone because the other person doesn't want to be your friend.
Right.
They have an intention. They think they're going to wear you down.
They don't want to be in. Yeah, they want more.
Personally, I don't think it's good karma to just keep people in that zone without telling them.
Yeah, you got to tell them that.
Yes.
You
I
can't
think you can't just expect that they know that that's just all it's
That's
going
not
to
cool,
be.
man.
You have to be like,
Make the man know. If you're
Let
not giving no pum,
no
tell him, say, yo,
disrespect. I'm
listen,
not trying to
not giving no-
self-inflate,
yeah,
but
simple.
just want to make it clear. In case this is what was going on in your mind, that's not where I'm at.
Right.
Yeah, simple.
So you have
At least this way he can make that decision whether he wants to keep you in his life or he can give him the free will.
Definitely distinguish the difference between friend zone and friendship.
Right.
Right.
Well, this is good. This is good. I like how you. I like that too.
Because Moose said earlier, friend zone only applies to people that are single and that are not people that are married. I mean, it kind of
Toast has a really good
What
toast.
is that close?
Toast says be be the person you present yourself as, and just stick to the code. Be honest and live your truth. If they ain't with it, bond them.
Tell them, like I said, tell the girl you like her. That's what you
simple. And if she's like, no, I'm not really feeling you, all right, you may like her a lot.
But
try to build yourself up and move
you gotta distinguish between friendship and friend zone.
But don't stick around thinking
that you're gonna get with that same girl.
No, you gotta, because you could have a friendship with a woman.
No, I mean, but don't.
To get to her.
Well, no, and he's right. He's right. The man said you have to fuck her friend to get to her, and this is true because if you fuck the friend, and let's say,
what if you're whack?
No, hold on. Let's say, two options. Either you're whack. If you're whack, then guess what? Operation done. But let's say you lay down the cocky pan or a weird. Now she's gonna go back to that said girl that has you in the friend zone and say, yo, blah 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 blah. Now the two of them girls are gonna come fight for you now. You understand?
You want your friend second?
Still.
No. You want your friend second? Tell the truth.
Yeah.
No.
I rate my friends and I like my friends, but they don't want.
I don't want to share their.
So basically, what you're saying, Jason, is it's when he says, "No man, not a ras," and he gets up and he gets some little trinket line foot and goes. Now that's when he becomes appealing to the next girl.
Hey man.
That's kind of what it sounds like. It kind of sounds
not true. If you fuck my friend. I wouldn't want.
But that's a lot to say about the kind of woman.
But
so,
if you had me in the friend zone and I'm there trying to talk to you, I'm there trying to talk to you.
If I had you in the friend zone, but that's a woman who doesn't know what she wants. Because here we are.
As a man, we are. Want that girl afterwards?
No.
You fuck your friend and she wants you now.
Honestly, I'm a very spiteful guy. I would just beat the pussy. No, I wouldn't.
Listen. As much as I
beat it up.
As much as I love how we have this so much different dynamic among us, I would challenge you because then you're dealing with a little girl. Because if I'm a big woman and I know what I need and I know what I don't need and I know what I will and will not function well with, and I tell you you're not it, and you go and you fuck my friend, whether it be out of spite or y'all just really hit it off, at that point I don't really want anything to do with you anymore.
Yeah,
but that's because that's what I'm saying. So I feel like as a big woman, I'm gonna wish you well. It's to be like, yo, if I was the conduit for y'all, then hey, you know what? That's great. It's one life to live. Like you guys
I wasn't getting nowhere. I wasn't getting nowhere. And your friend was giving me.
I'm not mad at that.
Your friend.
So then maybe you're my friend, Twinkly. Maybe you're not mine. Like maybe I was a conduit.
I could still be your friend if you want me to be your friend. Like I'll talk to rap you on the phone, but I'm still gonna fuck your friend.
And personally, I'll be like, listen, because you had expressed interest to me before. When I see you, it's in the presence of my friends. You know what I mean? I have a different. I don't know. Am I old, y'all? Like, Lisa?
No.
I agree with you.
No, it's not.
In my mind, if a girl's gonna look at a man and say, "Oh, but then he got with my friend and now I want him," bitch, you don't know what the fuck you want. And I'm saying, bitch,
that's a confused girl.
Because you don't know what you want.
I never said that's a girl I wanted. That's what you guys are.
We're talking about both the men's side and the women's side.
I'm saying that if I'm in the friend zone and you not give me no pum pum, but your friend come around and come fling the pum pum by me, I'm gonna take the pum pum.
Yeah, but I'm not gonna bat an eye.
The girl friend
I'm not gonna bat an eye.
That doesn't necessarily mean that exactly. That doesn't mean.
Yeah, don't worry.
That's okay. He's not gonna get the pum pum still.
Okay, well,
as long as
you know that.
No, Jay, I can't agree with you.
Gentlemen,
no,
if
not
you
me.
just
don't
don't you don't have to say, gentlemen.
I want to hear from these two next.
One,
we're running away. The train has gone off the track.
No, but here's the thing. If you want the girl and you want to wife her,
you just said that you can't get a girl.
Do not
Hold on,
sleep.
you said you
with
don't do it.
friend.
Don't do it.
They just finished saying that if you're in the friend zone, you're not getting the pum pum. You're in the friend zone. Now all of a sudden, because the man.
Oh no, fuck the friend. Go ahead, fuck her friend.
I just don't care. I'm just telling you, me as a big one. If you're in my friend,
bypass all of that and just tell the girl you like her.
Just tell her you like her.
If I tell the girl I like her, this is what I'm trying to say. If I tell the girl I like her and she says, you know what, we have to be friends, and her friend comes around, and the friend gives me the pussy, I'm gonna take the pussy.
When she tells me, hey, we can only just be friends, talk and ask her why. and find a reason and learn. Maybe there's a reason. You know what I'm saying?
I like that. I like that. No, I like what both Jays are saying, but what Big Jay's saying is find out what it is.
Find out what
disqualified you.
Why
were you disqualified from the running?
Get the criteria. Get the criteria.
You ask the question. And what was it on my resume that you did not like?
With the right,
right for the culture,
with the right
Yo, hold on. No,
what are you getting for?
Yo, brethren, girls come and put man in friend zone. See, they have man in the friend zone. The man is there in the friend zone. The man is wondering, yo, why can't we do it? The girl is giving all kind of excuse, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, all the way down to the letter Z. You understand? Then the girl's gonna feel away because the guy is sleeping with the girl's friend. What do you mean? The guy could take the friend, pump him, and run, man.
We're not 19 no more, Dad.
No. I hear what you're saying.
Big man.
I hear what you're saying, bro. But like, come on. What do you mean? Why am I gonna ask her why and this and that? I'm not gonna ask her why.
If you're gonna murk the friend, go murk the friend. Go deal with the friend.
Yeah.
I wouldn't deal with the friend either. I would just put that on the hit list.
Okay. Well, then you're talking about the person that just died. We're talking about people who are wondering like, how to get out of the friend zone.
You can't get out of the friend zone, man. You really can at the end of the day. There's nothing you can ask. You can ask questions, but you can't.
Yes, Lisa, please share.
I know,
Lisa, please share.
I just have a question. Wait.
You always have a question, right?
Wait.
Okay. What is your question?
There are some men that I put in the friend zone that will never get the pussy. But I'm not gonna lie. There's two male friends. They've gotten the pussy. So if I gave them the pussy, does that mean they came out the friend zone?
All right. So this is what I think this means now, Lisa.
Because
this is
you're
great.
never gonna be my man.
This is
you
great.
You can never just call me and be like,
this is great.
I want
that was.
I'm being straight up motherfucking selfish.
That's not a friend zone thing.
I want it. It's
that's
probably maybe twice a year.
That's not a friend zone thing. That's a what we call that 4-season type. No man, we call that 4-season loving type thing.
Friend with benefits.
You're not getting
still a friend. You're a friend. And there aren't really benefits per se.
But there's benefits. Yeah.
But they're not like it's not like it's all season pass for benefits, isn't it?
Yeah,
so if I give a problem, does that mean you're not my friend no more? Like
that's a difference.
This is
you're still in the friend zone.
I like
that.
You're still in the friend zone.
The only thing is,
no feelings.
That takes a mature person to deal with that.
To deal with yeah.
But
this is the pum pum rule though. This is the pum pum rule.
You can eat it like nobody's business. You're not
right? This is the song here. Right, exactly. You hear the song? Right. No, you should never give it. Everybody.
So friends with benefits, that's a whole other topic though. Like.
Friends with benefits, yeah. That takes mature people.
That's
no fucking
but
you want to do it, just do it.
Explosive. Because what happens in those type of situations, man start carrying feeling and
soft man them catch
feeling because the cocky or the pum pum sweet the man or vice versa.
No,
and it just
soft.
make a big mess. That too, but sometimes
Big time.
Right? So like these things is like real serious at the end of the day.
That goes into serious stuff. Now you're swapping juices and
and
DNA.
Like these things is like serious things, man.
But friends with benefits works, man. You gotta be mature about it. It works.
Maturity,
there's no legit tie. You guys just murk.
Can I say something? I feel like it's a perverted. I feel like it's
someone
a perverted version. I think the wording.
You gotta be
there's rules too. There's rules too, and nobody's following the rules to that type of situation.
There's no freedom behind this.
I think friends with benefits is a perversion of when you have a functioning relationship where your partner's actually your best friend. And the benefits that come from it is the fruit of the work you're doing.
No, some people just enjoy
like people
sex,
are
man.
Perverting that
and when two people who enjoy sex are friends, they can just do it with no feelings, none.
Okay,
not zero. And go about the next day.
But then maybe
that part is
but when you have society telling you that you have to romanticize chemistry,
you don't have to.
When
you don't have to
can
listen
just
to
be
them.
scientific.
That's what I'm talking about. Create your own reality. Create your own reality.
You have science. You have society's ideal saying chemistry has to be
Oh,
romanticized.
man, you guys.
Nah,
You know what I'm saying? And you don't have to form a certain type of institutionalized relationship when you might just actually have a chemistry.
Okay, society
Can we say
says
that?
not just
Can we say
chemistry.
that? You don't have to marry everybody. Not every twin flame and soulmate you're gonna marry.
Exactly.
No,
Society
you're gonna
says
have
not
female
just
twin
chemistry,
flames.
but your
You're gonna have
physicality.
females, exactly.
Yeah,
Your
There's
physicality is supposed to be like, that's supposed to be an adjoining thing, but is it really? Are we treating it that way?
Mhm.
You know, you have the freedom to connect with whoever you want to.
Absolutely,
It's your body. You can do whatever you want. You're an adult.
That's true.
If you feel, you know, this person at this moment or whatever the case may be, that's fine. But like, is that how you want to be using your connections? You know, you're absorbing someone's energy and you're sharing that with the next person. Do you want to keep doing that and spreading like confused energy?
That's the thing. Energy is important. People don't misuse energy every day. You gotta watch how you're using the energy that you put in the universe. The way you use your energy will definitely come back upon you. You know what I mean?
Big talk.
Definitely.
Mm-hmm.
That's why the whole friends with benefit thing, I'm not really, nah. I wouldn't do that.
Two sides to it.
I'm not.
I personally wouldn't do that at the end of the day, just because of the fact of somebody catching those feelings now, because you've been fucking for 2-3 months and the fuck is so proper that it's just like, yo, fuck, I just want to fuck you and you alone.
And then,
you understand?
right.
One of them gets a girlfriend,
one,
and they're no longer there to fuck.
And then it becomes more like.
But that's what I'm saying. It takes a mature person to do this, man.
Yeah,
Because you gotta do it with no feelings.
But
And when the other person gets a person, you say, "All right, you know, I'm happy for you."
I don't think it's no feelings. I think it's you have to know when to
It's
detach.
easy, man.
Yeah, because
Detach.
I feel like when we all know by now that sex is spiritual. This is why this whole topic is a debate. Okay,
Yeah.
We know that sex is not just physical. We know that it's spiritual, and we know that it's chemical, and we know that it's scientific. So at the end of the day, there are many different dimensions that we're experiencing sex from. Okay, physical, emotional, mental
for sure. There has to be a
physiological,
mental.
psychological, spiritual, and emotional. There's so many different dimensions we're experiencing sexual interaction from.
There's a comment.
Your comment.
Tis big up his
Yeah, I'm just saying. I think that means
Tis,
that you
bro.
have to know
You're
where
calling
you're
him
at.
Luda. That's Luda.
Less than
No,
Tis,
bro,
bro.
Tiziana.
Oh,
You know
Tiziana.
what I'm saying? Yeah.
People are saying people can do it if there's no feelings involved.
I
but
don't
then-
feel
Alright.
like it's no feeling.
I'll
I feel
talk
like
for
it's when you know how to
I've
detach.
done this.
If you can't be alive, you can't be emotionally dead and having any kind of sexual connection. That's an oxymoron.
Yeah.
From the time you're having a sexual connection with this person, you are emotionally alive. What you have come to the point of is being able to know when to detach. You know when to conquer your emotions. You know how to manipulate and airbend. You're an emotional alchemist. You know when to let go and say, yo, you know what, brethren? I feel so you a vibe 1 little megahertz off from my frequency and yo, I gone. You know what I mean? Like you're in tune with yourself. I don't think it means you're emotionally dead. I think it means you're so in tune that you can say, this can be just this because you've now begun to compartmentalize and female has become male. That's what I think it is.
Facts on
You've now become, you don't think like
excellent.
spaghetti anymore like a woman. You now think like waffles and you can compartmentalize. And when a woman has come back to her male self, she's cool. And this is why men are intimidated by women who can do this.
Okay.
But bottom line, I think that's my.
Okay, so now
I'm not lying, like
I'm
them
going to
girls
branch
do that
out
can
a
fuck.
bit.
Men are afraid of that.
I'm going to branch off a bit. So with that said, I don't know if you guys touched upon it last week or I'm not sure, but can men and women just be friends?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah, that-
150%.
Can you have
Absolutely.
people with no thing? Because I remember somebody asked.
I'm
that
in it
question.
right now. I live it every day.
Isn't your
My best
woman?
man was a
Right,
woman.
Your best
Yeah.
man is a woman.
Right.
That's
Okay.
my best friend.
Because there's questions out there. Can a man and a woman
You want me to talk
just-
about this?
Yeah,
You know?
yeah.
Yeah, a
I'm
married
saying
man.
that's
This
my-
is a married man talking
Yes.
about.
We
having
have that.
a
We
female
have
friend
that
that's-
friendship, and there's no lies that's hidden between us or between my wife, and we don't lie about the attraction. You know what I'm saying? We don't deny it. Is it there? Yes. Would I sleep with her?
That's
Yes.
good talk.
But I'm mature enough not to be a dummy to be like and do that and destroy my life with my wife who I love or whatever.
Right.
But I love
You
this
built a
woman.
foundation of security. You know how much.
Mature to go
Do you
about
know
it.
how much anchoring you gave your wife by telling her that?
Exactly.
Okay.
It's when you don't tell the woman, oh, this woman's ugly, I'm not attracted. Then she'd be like,
Yeah.
fuck, if she's attracted to me, then I damn well know she's attracted to you. Don't insult me.
Right.
You affirmed your women by saying, yes, I'm still a red-blooded male. I'm still a
Okay,
one-blooded male.
okay.
But I human love.
Okay, if you,
You know what I'm
weren't
saying?
married and you weren't with the girl, I mean, you weren't with your wife, and you didn't have, could you and this girl just be
And you know what? We see we've
That's
talked
another
about that stuff
question,
too.
though.
We said, I wonder how things would have been
It's
if
such a dynamic
she didn't.
shit.
She's married to. If she didn't get married, or my wife, didn't come along. I wonder, could we have? We talk about that stuff.
Okay, and what was?
It just never happened.
It just never happened.
No.
So there's no. But see, that's what it comes
We
along.
just
That's
didn't
where you. That's where you are. You are. That's what with other people. Can male and female just be friends?
You can just be friends, but you can't deny deny the natural laws of nature.
Yeah, you can't
The
deny.
natural
So
laws.
eventually, if you build something together,
What's that?
Some buzz cards.
Personally, I have several men that I'm just friends with,
Music.
and there's no attraction. There's no issues like that. These are my brothers. Is it me? Like,
And they know that, though?
there's some in this group, of course.
And they're okay with it.
Yes.
It's doable. It's very doable.
It's very, well, I used to have a connection with one of their friends, right? And I was that girl who didn't stop being friends with the friends because the friends kind of took me in, and it was kind of organic, and it was kind of like, who cares, because we're all big people and we went our separate ways. We just went our separate ways. It wasn't no beef thing, because it gives me just like when things cool. But yeah, so like we're friends. Like we were just talking earlier about connecting because we're neighbors and, sharing some of the chat perhaps or something of the sort. Link me when you come off work.
Yeah.
But I just have like, I can be friends with guys because it's like there's situations where it's like, it depends on how you met. Yeah. And it depends on what you established at the beginning. You see what I'm saying?
That's
so
clutch.
We met under a certain vibe, and it was established under a certain vibe that it was like, I'm your people's and you're my people's. Yeah. So we just stayed people's. We go to each other's kids' birthday parties, and if he comes or any of them come over, they can crash, including the person that I connected with. If I go to their house, I can crash, and it's all just love. They call my mom, and I call their mom's mom,
Jill says, but I think there's always some sort of attraction on one side, even
So
if you
Jason
can
was
just
saying.
be friends.
I think
Nah. These are my brothers. That's kind of like, it's kind of like the thought of it is like, yo, what are you really dealing with? Like, I would almost fight you for saying that, like brothers. You see what I'm saying? Like, there is no, if any of them are watching.
You got past that already. That's what I mean. You got past that stage.
But you have
It was never there. Like the meeting, like they were friends of someone that I was with. Right. You know what I mean?
Okay, so then then you became your
So
brother.
when he brought me around, I became one of the friends.
Yeah.
Okay,
And then when
I
me
mean,
and him stopped talking, I
did you
stayed
become
one of the
best
friends.
with the guy.
A few of them.
No,
It's
you
a
like,
group
are
of
you
them.
like best? No, okay, not a group. But I mean like
Jill
just
says for you,
one
maybe
on
not
one.
them.
That's what I'm saying. One on one, best friends. Like you have a best friend.
No,
became
but
the
there's
person's
three
best
right
friend.
now that I'm like super
Because
cool
I was
with.
in a situation like that, and
Don't take away your phone.
what happens is that it turned out that the guy liked me, but I made it clear, like how we met was he's a cousin of my ex, so I met him through. So there was no ever. I don't crew love, right? So and I don't keep it in the family. So I made it clear to him, like we're friends, and we would talk on the phone, and he became my best friend. I mean, like we'd go walk our dogs together, and farmers market kind of stuff. Yeah. And eventually, I totally. We're best friends, we're good friends, that's it. He knows it, I know it, that's it. But the whole time he was feeling me.
Right, so this is what Dale was saying. Dale said maybe for you, but not for them. What if a man's just truly in love with a woman and he's seeing her look to her left, look to her right, but never look up?
You get your game up. Get your game up, boy.
Personally, I feel like
if she's not looking at you, make her look at you.
I feel like as women we can sense that, and And there was one of the friends who was in that situation, and I checked it straight. But these other 3 that I can guarantee you, friends, just friends. Always like brothers, brother and sister.
Yeah. That's real talk.
It's not impossible. That's what I'm saying.
No, it's not impossible.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like,
People just have to be
the
clear.
majority other than the minority. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, you know.
What is it? Is it more so or less? You know what I mean? So that's what
I hear you, Autumn.
I'm just wondering kind of thing with that one. You know?
I hear you. Etienne says Tempesta General. Do you want to wrap up with anything, baby?
Yeah, Tempest, wrap up.
I'm so silent, bro. Just typing nonsense in the chat. All kinds of nonsense, man.
I always have to Tempest is like the number. Tempest is the original treasure troll.
Yeah, he's the original troll, agitator. Number 1 agitator.
Yeah,
this whole group wouldn't be here if it weren't for his trolling.
Tara, Chelsea, big up yourself.
Yeah.
Egging on the fights on a Sunday morning. I'll never forget the one where me and Ryan had to break out the popcorn at like 9 on a Sunday. 9 a.m. we're popping popcorn.
So wrapping it up now.
Give thanks. Yes. So
well, all in all, you know what I mean? It's been a very eventful week.
Andre, big up.
Andre, big up. Yeah. Tara, big up. But it's been a very eventful week. You know what I'm saying? This is what, number 6 now, top of tingz. You know, it's a good vibe. The group is pumping, you know what I'm saying? People are talking, like, let's just keep this going.
Bring your
you know
dilemmas. Bring
everything in.
We love it.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
And to wrap things up, don't get so much in your feels. This is a group where people chat, people talk, and people are going to the delivery. You may not like it. You may not like it. And your reaction is what is going to set the whole tone of how you react towards someone's action. You know, don't just be so much in your feels and see where it goes next time. If you feel post is nothing about you, then don't take it so personally.
That thumb is a very strong thing. Like, it's strong.
Except me, I'll say, well, I'm a blood clot one, and I'm like, nobody.
No, say what you want. Say what you want. Yeah, they're looking for people to say what they want as well. But
it wasn't me.
At the end, learn how to rein it in. Learn how to rein it
Big
in.
up, Benny. Yeah, respect.
What's up, Benny?
Yeah, big up Benny. Benny's been supporting us from
Benny.
Yeah,
SP, big up yourself.
SP too. SP Brian. Boom. Original Dan.
I think one last thing I'm gonna touch on is the whole incident with Cam Newton, man. And the reason why I'm gonna touch on this is because the whole politics with the whole like players like kneeling at the anthem and stuff like that. You know what I mean? It's very political. I don't agree with it at the end of the day. Basically, what happened was a female reporter who has used racial words towards black football players and other minorities and races in the past asked Cam Newton about his wide receivers
Chelsea
running
routes. Don't worry.
You understand?
Not see you, but me see
To me,
Chelsea.
that's funny. I watch football. Whoever watches football knows wide receivers run routes to catch the ball.
Right.
I'm going to find that funny. You know what I mean? Because it's funny hearing a female say that. You know what I'm saying? Like, wow, you're really asking me about my receivers running routes. That's pretty cool. Now, because he said, I never heard a female talk about routes, all these friggin' feminists have their panties in a bunch. And now Cam Newton lost his sponsorship with Danone yogurt and stuff like. Yo, to me, at the end of the day, like, yo, let me tell you something. You see this whole thing here now, this whole thing, I don't like it, man. This whole thing about Colin Kaepernick not being signed to a team. He should have been signed already. Not because he's a shitty player, but because he's a player. You know what I mean? And because he made a stat. He's probably like, what, in his 30s.
Yeah, but his time was back like.
No, man, he still has another good 2-3 seasons in him, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? All this politics that now they made Cam Newton apologize. You mean to tell me he has to apologize, but she doesn't have to apologize?
The NFL anyways.
Yeah, I'm watching it right now.
The ratings are down.
I'm paying attention. I got fantasy. Big up Circle Fantasy Click.
Yeah, Circle Fantasy Click. Cloud, me and Lisa are going to
hockey season.
About to eat.
And
Raptors. But the Raptors have no hope.
No hope for the Raptors.
Basically, the females got all.
The feminists.
Got into their feelings about.
They got their panties in a bunch.
He thought it was funny that a woman would know the ins and outs
of professional football.
Wow.
right?
Colin Kaepernick is 29 years old.
29 and still doesn't have a contract.
Wow.
But is top 10 in rushing the ball in football. As a quarterback, you mean to tell me you're not going to sign him? Come on.
He's
man.
a vegan in top shape.
Top shape.
You're
Top
right.
shape. A lot of politics, man. You know what I'm saying?
Okay,
Politics.
so with that said,
How what?
you brought it up, so
What are you trying to say? What are you trying to ask me?
Bon,
what do you wrap it up? Like,
Wrap
tell
it
us
up.
What you
You want me to wrap it up?
yeah, man,
Yeah,
time
tell
to,
us what
Yo,
you
I'm
think.
tired. I'm
Time to
old now,
think.
man. Yeah, man, I'm gonna go to bed now.
Yo,
Trust me.
October 14th,
October 14th.
World
Junior.
Clash.
Yeah, King of Tani.
King of Tani.
Yeah.
Yo, Junior D, big up yourself. D, big up yourself.
November 25th.
Same.
Casino.
November 25th, Casino.
Casinos. Circle.
Everybody.
Casino. November
On the bus
25th. Yeah.
Gonna promote that
Bring out the
hard.
big money. Big money. I want to see no $5 bills. Nothing
me.
bigger than a 20.
Trust me. Yo, thank
Big
you guys
one.
for being with us here again.
That's okay. Wait, hold on.
Okay, no, I'm joking.
Wait.
Okay, bring your fives and the loonies.
I'm not a gambler, and when we go there, we get $10 to begin.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Okay?
Come on the bus, you get
So
$10.
guess what, people?
You get
I'm
$10.
going with $20 in my pocket,
And the $10
okay?
again.
And the $10 again, and I'm going to hit the jackpot. My word.
I get
You
it.
watch.
Chris
That's
Rondo,
right. Put
you
it out to the
cannot have
universe.
Hogan back. Sorry. Thank you so much. I appreciated that trade. It was like so dope of you. Thank you.
Yeah. You just made me and Lisa win. I don't even want to
You
look.
can't have him.
But when we look and we're on top of the standings again, we're just gonna laugh at you guys. Big up yourself,
Big up.
chicken curry. Chicken curry,
Big up
Chris.
chicken curry.
Oh, poor Chris.
It's really curry chicken, but we still love you.
We do.
All right, people.
All right,
thank
people.
You.
Yeah, big up. You know what I'm saying?
Big
Good
up
week.
everybody, man.
You know what I'm saying?
Week 6. Thank you.
3,200 motherfucking people. God
Let us know
damn.
what you want us to talk about
Yeah.
next week.
Yeah. Inbox one of the admins. You already know the routine. Whatever you guys
Yeah.
want to talk about.
Yeah.
Feel free to hit us up. You know what I mean? We could definitely help you out as best as we can, make your experience very pleasurable inside the
And
circle.
thanks for being, yo, we appreciate this. Trust me.
Yeah.
Trust
We
me.
do.
We do.
We
We
really
appreciate
appreciate
you.
it.
And play nice.
Play nice.
Yo, play nice, brethren.
Yeah.
Stop bottom room on them, man.
Yeah.
Take time, man.
Yes. And the women,
John
stop
was,
Stop
castrating
calling man,
the man.
batty man. Stop
Yeah.
Pick up the
calling
man
fish
them.
and things.
Pick
It's
up the
not
man them,
cool.
elevate the man them, brethren. Don't
Elevate the
bad
man
up.
them.
Don't bad them up, man.
One love.
Shamari bless
All
everybody.
right,
Bless.
let's Tampas. Say goodbye
No,
to the people.
big up.
Come
Day
on.
one supporter.
Ah.
Let's go.
Yeah. All right.
Alyssa.
All right.
Deep.
Bye.
Bye, guys.